in Jurassic Park alongside Drake, leading the parade as always. Well, not yet the parade, the party, I guess. The parade's to come. Akil Augustine, who's with us, the producer and host of NBA TV Canada and the host of Jurassic Park, our guest throughout these playoffs. And it's so great to see you this morning. Sum it all up for me, Akil.
I mean, poetic is pretty good. Serendipitous. Like, everything that's happened in the last few years for the Toronto Raptors has just seemed unreal. Shouts out to Masai Ujiri on his leadership for the organization. Just as a Torontonian, as a kid who came up in the city, who always put basketball first in his heart, it's amazing to watch everybody kind of congregate and come together around this team. I never thought I'd see the day, so the fact that it's happening in my lifetime makes me extremely happy.
I feel so badly even asking you questions with your throat.
It's okay, I'll survive.
I think there are millions of Raptors fans with a voice like yours this morning. Take me to Jurassic Park last night. We're seeing those pictures. We'll see them again. I said not just was Drake there, but thousands of people were. In those last seconds, the lead had changed. There was a turnover. There was wildness at the end. What was it like there?
I think we all aged probably an extra 10 years from the way that game played out. It was an epic playoff game, and the fans, they live and die with each play. So you can just tell how the game's going by the reactions of the faces, all eyes tilted upwards towards the screen. It's beautiful to watch the TV glow off their face and just see them live with the reactions. But it was intense. It was really intense. And thankfully, nothing too horrible happened. A couple of incidents, but I think the guys behaved themselves for the most part.
The moment of realizing
Yes.
that they had, in fact, won, that the team from the 6 had won in 6 and was bringing back that trophy.
I was in shock. A lot of people around me were jumping up and down, celebrating. I had to stand there and really soak it in and take it in. And I later had to spend a moment at home alone. Because for some of us, like, a lot of people, basketball is a new thing, it's a hot thing. But there are a lot of people in this country who've put this game first, put their careers on the line, and really invested in the game and had faith and belief that
That's you, and you're part of that.
And my friends and so many people I know and I work with who believe that basketball could be a game that could do a lot for this community in this country. And to see this moment happen, it's crazy.
I love watching your face and as you delight in this. A couple of questions about a couple of the key players. Kawhi, MVP. Are those tears of emotion?
A little bit. I mean, I knew I was going to cry.
Are you serious?
I knew I was going to cry.
No,
I mean,
why?
it's great because it's like, I mean, I don't know. I've had basketball means a lot to a lot of people. And I think just what we've been through as basketball fans as a country, it's important to a lot of people.
I love
It's very important.
It's raw. For so many people, it's going to be for some time.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Okay. Deep breath. Let me ask you.
I know,
you're
myself,
good. No, you're not. You're nothing. Listen, there are lots of tears, lots of longtime fans. I know. I saw it on their faces. Watching some of the big names. Kawhi didn't have his best game last night, but he had a great game. MVP of the series. What did he do?
Everything. Everything. You talk about just the fact that being a champion takes a certain type of mentality and approach to the game, and it's something that's hard. Everyone talks about experience whenever you go into a new experience. Have you been there before? Do you know what it takes? Kawhi's approach permeated the entire Toronto Raptors team, and everybody kind of followed his lead. And I think that's what helped these guys when the going got tough in moments where traditionally teams would fold. I think his presence helped to steady a group that was extremely talented but needed that kind of leadership.
Kyle, 26 points, 15 in the first quarter, just charging out of there, and the longest serving or the longest playing Raptor right now to see him finally get that ring.
It's crazy to think about the trajectory of Kyle Lowry's career because this is a guy that when he first got to the NBA was kind of an afterthought for franchises and they didn't really want to invest in him long term. He came to Toronto and it kind of didn't work out. He was on his way out. He was ready to move on and just piece after piece kind of fell into place. And it's Kyle Lowry's going to have a nice documentary about him. There's going to be a good movie about Kyle Lowry because there's a story there.
Big story. And Fred VanVleet, to see him, Greg Ross, our reporter, said, you know, he has a hockey face right now. He's got the tooth, he's got the bruise, he's got the stitches and everything. And there he was with, a career game for him. He had 5 threes on the night, came off the bench, and he talked about, how the team, he just said it, most of us aren't part of the big boy club, is how he phrased it. But he talked about, the grittiness of everybody else on the bench. And he's the leader in that.
Fred VanVleet is a name that, I mean, people, like, he comes from Wichita State. That's a program that was a winning program, and he's got that stuff, the right stuff, that je ne sais quoi, that I don't know what, right? And I think he, being the guy he is, was able to withstand a lot of criticism for his jump shooting throughout the playoffs. And I think, you know, the story of him having his first child, or his child and becoming a senior, and it was just, there's so many cool things happening right now around this team. There's so many cool people, great human beings. Father's Day is going to be a big day for this group, right? Because there's so many great dads on the team. It's just amazing to watch.
So what's next for this great team? What do you think? What do we watch for now in the offseason?
Well, free agency is the first thing, right? You want to make sure that Kawhi is part of the future for this team. But I think next is the parade, man. Tune in. Let's watch. Let's party. Let's celebrate. That's going to be huge.
But do you think Kawhi Leonard will be back?
I won't speak on it, but I believe that we're in a good situation. And I think good days are ahead for the Toronto Raptors and their fans.
And Masai Ujiri? Lots of interest in him.
He's our guy.
Okay. And what is next for basketball, the sport that means so much to you?
That's the thing that's the most important to me. It's crazy because I think enrollment's going to go up. I think the corporate community is going to start to throw more money at it. And I think for a lot of the people who identify with the game, I think they're going to be more accepted in the culture. We're going to see basketball everywhere. We're going to see it earlier in the sports highlight packs. We're going to see, you know, as many Raptors jerseys as Maple Leaf jerseys. I think it's really important. It's going to represent the new Toronto and the new Canada and how the country's changing. And it's, I think basketball is the sexiest sport other than soccer being played right now. And I think it's going to lend some cool factor to this country. And, you know, all eyes on us right now.
Enjoy it.
I am.
I've loved every conversation with you, Akil. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you, Heather.
So many times over the playoffs, and we'll look forward to our next conversation. Akil Augustine, who fired up that crowd every time at Jurassic Park, the host there and the host of NBA TV Canada, and thankfully for us, a regular guest on our program.